Mm. Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-ba-dum ba-da-da-da-da-da da-da-dum da dun da da dum ba da dun da dun da dun dun da da dun dum bum ba da 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 dun da dun da da dun dun da dun da da dum ba da dun da dun da dun da da dun 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 dun. Hello, my friends. Hello, my mighties. Hello, my Facebook Live friends. It's so wonderful to see you all. Let's just see. I want to see my overview so I can see everyone here. Lots of new mighties. I don't know if you've noticed. You can't really tell, can you? Lots of new folks in my mighty members as of yesterday and today. It's very exciting. I expect that will be a lot more. Uh, so we've done a little promotion. So more people are getting involved, which is a wonderful thing. And let's just see here. Let's get this live chat going. Here we are. Happy Homeopathy Monday, says Angela. Nice to see you. Someone from East Texas and Grand Rapids, Michigan. And that's Pat and Big D, Texas. Linda. Hi. Where's Harry? Hey, Harry. Hi, Leanne. I don't see you yet, but I know you're all there, right? It's wonderful to see you all. My friends from Ontario, wonderful to see you. Maryland, and I think it's Jupiter, Florida. I think I just saw there. Wonderful. Tennessee. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joette Calabrese, and I'm here every Monday night. And we do the same thing every Monday night. We do one thing and one thing only, and that is homeopathy. And I teach you what I know to share with you so that you can use this medicine for yourself, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors. It's the way we want this to go. So, for those of you who do know me, hi, friends. It's nice to see you here tonight. Hello from Denver. Hello, everyone. So, we're going to talk about brain fog, right? Brain fog related to viruses. In other words, the virus and then what follows the virus is brain fog. And boy, have we had a lot of that recently. Yes, sirree. We've had a lot of that. But no worries. No worries. This is not that complex. So let's just make sure we've got. Oh, hi, Bob and Deb. Nice to see you. Make sure you can hear me. I'm sure you can hear me. Yep. Yep. You can all hear me. Good. You bet. So I want to make sure everybody's here. Join in, my friends. This is a good one because not only is this important for post viral foggy brain, but it's also, and some of these are for just foggy brain, regardless of the etiology. It doesn't necessarily matter. Although the first one that we're going to talk about tonight is very specific to foggy brain and other aspects of not getting quite well. When the illness carries on, the virus, it carries on and it carries on and it carries on. And look, when I was a little girl, when we got sick, it wasn't just me, it was everybody in my classroom. My brother got sick and all the kids in his classroom. When we got sick in the winter, it lasted, we were out of school for 2 weeks. It's just the way it was. So you can keep seeing, you can see me, right? Because some people are complaining that okay, everyone can hear me. Okay, good. I already see some very good ideas here. And we would get sick for a long period of time, 2 weeks. That's just the way it was. Everybody did that. Now, excuse me, now people get sick and they expect it to be over with in 3 days. Well, I mean, it would be nice, but it doesn't always work out that way. So if it doesn't, and it goes on for, let's say, 3 weeks, and I've talked about this medicine before, super common remedy. But if it goes on and on, whether it's foggy brain, whether it's long-term fatigue, whether it just feels like I just can't get well, then let's see if anybody has an idea what it is. Gelsemium, someone's asking. Antimonium tart. These are all good choices. Very, very good choices. What is normal? Normal is a setting on a washing machine. Well, to a certain degree, you're right. But on the other hand, normal, there is a range of what we consider. So, Rechna, my dear friend Rechna, sulfur. Yep. And Carrie said it too. And so is Karen. And so is Grace. And so is Cindy and Elvira. You've got it. Shelly. You go. You go, friends. Cindy and Rosie. Good job, my friends. Look, I'm not saying that other ideas here, gelsemium, etc., are wrong. I'm just telling you that I think it's you know me and you already know what I'm going to say because I I've used sulfur for so many years, and I've talked about it on my blog. So I want to make a point of making it very clear. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't want you to be thinking about using sulfur just because you're tired of being sick and it's only been 10 days. That's not appropriate. What's appropriate is after it's been quite a while, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and it's lagging on. Now, we're not talking about if somebody has a really deep cough or they still have bronchitis, even though that could possibly be, or whooping cough, which has been going around. We're not talking about that. We're talking about it's a regular garden variety flu of sorts or a long-term cold, and it's been going on for a long period of time. After 2 weeks, maybe into 3 weeks, then my favorite medicine for that, when it's very general like that, is sulfur 30. Sulfur 30 twice daily. Now, how long? For how long? Just a few days. And generally, it picks things up. Person starts to feel better. Now, is it for brain fog? Is it for foggy thinking? It can be that, but can also be for fatigue and the general overwhelming feeling that they are not. Thank you, Wyethia, for constant clearing of the throat. Yeah, and I don't constantly clear my throat, but tonight I am. But it is a great medicine for the overall inability to shake the last of the lingering virus, cold, whatever it might be. Okay, so sulfur 30 twice a day for a few days. That's one of my favorites. All right, let's talk about the next one. I'm going to leave the best one for last, okay? The next one is foggy brain. Sometimes with foggy brain, we also have great fatigue, as we would with sulfur too. Fatigue often accompanies foggy brain. And so I love this next medicine that has a lot to do with they're feeling slow. They're not thinking fast enough. They can't move along in their ability to take on their life again. Sometimes they even feel indifferent. Also, it can have a tremendous fatigue. Now, let me tell you this about one more thing about this medicine, that it is particularly valuable if the person has been taking drugs. Now, whether they're drugs for this particular virus or they're drugs that the person's been taking all along for, who knows, blood pressure drugs, synthetic thyroid drugs, drugs that that the person's body has had to have gotten accustomed to. And it's hard for the body to get used to taking drugs. We think, oh, I've no side effects. Yeah. Just give it some time. We're buying illness, long-term illness, in my estimation, by using drugs, generally speaking. Leanne's got it, my friend. So does Rechna. Phosphoric acid. You bet. Phosphoric acid. I love this medicine for post-viral fatigue, post-viral brain fog, post-drug use. It doesn't even have to be a virus, but when somebody's been using drugs, whether they use it, as I said, for this particular virus, or they got one of these, or they got these, and then this, and then again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And this is the ailments that have come from it, which is that no longer on top of their game on many levels, for energy, for ability to think through what they need to think through. Any type of virus? Well, it depends on what you mean by virus. Are we talking about herpes? A little different. Are we talking about a long-term virus? Are we talking about warts? That's a virus also. I'm talking about a respiratory virus. Okay. So for how long do we use this phosphoric acid? Well, first let me tell you that I would most often use it in a 200 potency. And in a 200 potency, I would use it twice a day for, I don't know, 5 days, 4 days, something like that. I'm not giving you the exact time. I'm telling you that is an approximation. And what you want to do is follow how the person is feeling. If they're starting to perk up, then we back off of it. If they start dropping back down again because we've backed off, we start up again. It's not something we're going to use for long term. This is an acute condition because a virus, such as a respiratory virus, is not a chronic condition. It is an acute. It has a natural beginning and a natural end. And what I mean by a natural beginning and natural end, you didn't always have the virus, and you're not always going to have it. You're going to have a respiratory infection for a short period of time. It can be 6 months. It seems very long, but it is going to end. So that makes it acute. All right. So phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid, let me also say parenthetically, even without any virus at all, is one of our best medicines for brain fog, for tremendous fatigue too, in relationship to taking drugs. How do you know it's in relationship? Well, if someone has tremendous fatigue and brain fog, and they just can't get back on their game, and they also happen to be taking a synthetic drug of commerce, it's likely the medicine that can be used. It's great medicine. Could it be used for any serious illness? It could if you have those symptoms. So we're going to use the symptoms here. Alrighty, let's see what else we've got. Yes, phosphoric acid, 200C. After 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and it's still lingering on, regular flu or COVID, sulfur 30 twice a day for a few days, inability to shake the last of the lingering cold virus. You got it, Lizzie. You have got it. Someone's asking me for sulfur for kids too. Let me just tell you that in homeopathy, unless it says don't use it for kids, don't use it for goats, don't use it for an old man, don't use it for a pregnant woman, we just make the assumption it is across the board. Because that's what's so beautiful about these medicines. First of all, there are no side effects. More importantly, they're not synthetic. Even more importantly, they're not owned by Pfizer or Moderna. They are not even owned. No one can own a homeopathic medicine. Do you understand that? They cannot be owned. That alone is reason enough to consider this medicine, to look further into this medicine, because there is there's more purity in that, in the in the reason for using this medicine, there is more purity. When someone does not own something, then they don't make as much money, right? There's no monopoly on it. And when there is a monopoly on something, then and it's owned, then it changes the timbre of the medicine altogether. Now, the homeopathic pharmacies can manufacture these medicines, but they cannot own them because sulfur is an element on the periodic table. You can't own it. You're not allowed to own that. Phosphoric acid, same thing. You cannot own that. Is it safe to say that there's a difference between sulfur and sulfa-based allopathic meds? Is there a difference? Let me put it to you this way. In homeopathy, some of our best medicines are the toxins. And if you're asking me that question, it means you need to go a little bit further in your understanding of homeopathy. Our toxins are the best medicines. Aconitum, belladonna, arsenicum album, nux vomica, helleborus, stramonium. In their original form, they are very toxic and can cause many symptoms, but when they're made homeopathically, they're diluted and diluted and diluted and diluted and diluted and diluted many, many, many times. And in between, they are potentized, they are succussed and potentized. And so they get what is really toxic and has substance or has symptoms that are related to that toxin in its gross form. And by diluting it, we drop down the toxicity and bring forth the curative action. So if someone has a sulfur or sulfa allergy, sulfur might be precisely the medicine, the homeopathic medicine needed, because it's not sulfur, it's sulfur 30C, 30, it's diluted 30 times to the 100th power. That's what 30C means. So these are not vitamins, they're not nutrients, these are not supplements. This is a category in and of itself. Mwah. Chef's kiss for homeopathy. It is the medicine, my friends. The medicine. All right. So let's just see here. What else we've got? You bet. The decimal and centesimal scale. You bet. All right. Let's go to the medicine that I'm most excited to share with you tonight, because some of you who are new may not know anything about this medicine, and you ought to, because it's a very beautiful medicine. It's not very common, but it is a very good one. And this medicine is for stupefaction, for dullness, for mental dullness, for slow responses, for not having their thinking straight. They have difficulty sometimes coming up with the right word. The comprehension is off. And if that has been as a result of a subsequent, or a previous virus, we've got a dead ringer. And the medicine is Helleborus. Boris. Helleborus. Hellebo. I had to look at it. Helleboris. Helleborus. It is one of our best medicines for memory, for stupefaction, for weakness of thinking. The person answers slowly. They trip over their thoughts. They say, I'm having a bad day. I'm not remembering things very well, but really, to be honest, they know that it's been going on for some time. It's embarrassing. They can't remember someone's name. They can't remember a street. They can't remember the name of a book. That it's all of that is part of this stupefaction. Must we use Helleborus only when there is a post-viral event or events? Is it only after a virus that we would use this? No. After a virus, if this shows up, it happens to be one of our first choices. But it doesn't have to have a virus that supersedes it. So this can happen as someone's going into dementia, right? It can be for someone who is just, when they eat the wrong foods, they can't think straight. That does happen to people. You bet. Is hellebores good for Alzheimer's? You bet it is. That's exactly what it's for. But you don't have to have Alzheimer's to use this medicine. And so it is sometimes, especially in Alzheimer's and dementia, the person becomes apathetic. It seems as though they're becoming apathetic because they're just giving up. They're just feeling like, I just don't have my wits about me any longer. I can't think straight. I don't know answers anymore. I used to be on my game. I can't do that any longer. I've had an entire lifetime of being tight with my memory and sharpen my understanding of new concepts, and it's just not happening. Then we're thinking about this medicine. Hellebores. One word, hellebores. How do I like to use it? I like to use it in a 30 potency. And I like to use it, twice a day for a few days and see how it goes. Now, if we're talking about a post-viral inability to think, then we're only going to use that for a short period of time. Most likely is going to be only twice a day for maybe 5 days. Not unlike the sulfur I just described, right? Not unlike the phosphoric acid. We're not going to use it for a long period of time. However, if we're talking about it for a chronic condition such as dementia, Alzheimer's, now we're going to have to use it for a longer period of time. And I'm not going to get into that, but I do want you to know that this is what I think of post-viral. This is an excellent, excellent medicine when it comes to that mental dullness, just not being able to be on top of their game. And maybe it's not perhaps it's not even from the virus. Well, but it coincides with having had a virus. We don't know exactly the reason. We can make an assumption, but we don't know the exact reason. What we do know is that this is happening, this mental dullness. And so that's when we use hellebores. More for older folks, or would it be used for a teen struggling with this as well? What did I just say earlier? Maybe you weren't here then. It matters not the age. There is no asterisk that says don't use it for a goat. Don't use it for an old man. Don't use it for a pregnant woman. Don't use it for a teenager. Don't use it for a child. It is what it is. This fits. These medicines are pretty much ubiquitous across the board. They can be used for all ages. We have very few medicines that we don't generally use in the general population for something like pregnancy. But after that, to be honest, it matters not. All right. Could it be used after shock and grief? It can be used after shock and grief if the mind is slow, if there's stupefaction, if there's mental dullness. You're not going to use it for other aspects of shock and grief. You're going to be using it for exactly what I just described. But I also want to tell you, my friends, I expect that before you use any of these homeopathic medicines, that you are going to crack open your Materia Medica. And you should have a couple of them, or at least have a couple at your fingertips, because you can get them online and read them for free. And read this medicine. And read this medicine. That's true of all of these. Not just hellebores, but also sulfur 30 and phosphoric acid. Stupefaction, dullness, slow responses, can't come up with the right words. Comprehension is off. Hellebores 30 twice. Thank you very much, Lizzie. You're giving it right back. It's beautiful. Yep. It is a beautiful medicine. Can hellebores be added when the person is already taking homeopathics for allergies and itchy skin sores? Alice, if you don't know the answer to that question, I strongly urge you to consider taking joining one of my study groups so that you can learn how you construct a schedule, or one of my classes, online classes. We can add, but I want you to think in terms of not a lot of medicines. There is a way to carry through on this and make it a little tighter than just throwing it together. All right. Okay. I need new places online to buy homeopathics, please. Well, we've got Hahnemann Pharmacy. We've got Boron, Boiron, and if you put my name at the end when you go to check out, you use my first name, you'll get a discount. Helios in England, Washington in West Virginia, OHM Pharma if you happen to be a student or a client of mine. Okay. Yes. Tracy Ignatia has helped me wonderfully after losing my husband. I think that's the person. She must be responding to the person who was talking about grief. Let's see what else we've got here. Lizzie, love what you're doing. Yeah, we don't use the medicines simultaneously the same time in the mouth at the same time. Hi from Bermuda. I find my 76-year-old father fits both phosphoric acid and hellebore symptoms. Which would you try first? The way you find that out, the way you decide that is you read a Materia Medica and read them both. That's really the best way to do this, my friends. You really want to know these medicines inside and out before you start using them. It's a great idea, especially if you're not sure what to do. What do you think of professional formulas? I'm not sure I know what that means. I love Boron's combination medicines, if that's what you mean. I like OHM's combination medicines. I like Helios's combination medicines, but you have to be careful. Brain fog from insomnia. Which remedy? Remember what I said earlier? It doesn't matter what the etiology is. It doesn't matter what the cause is. If it's brain fog, it's brain fog. Right? That's what it is. We're using hellebores for stupefaction, for brain fog, mental dullness. Did I say, except for? No, it's for brain fog. Brain fog related to a virus after a virus. Brain fog related to chronic condition. Could be brain fog from I'm trying to think of something else. From, I don't know, getting a sunburn. Okay. So I want you to think, I'm not telling you that it has to be from a specific event. However, if it is from a specific event, then we've discussed it. Some of it we've discussed tonight. Yep. Hang in there and treasure the good memories, says Mary. And I'm sorry for your loss. Nice. I like that you're helping each other, friends. Love the things you're saying. Mighty people, Joette's Mighty members, you're amazing. You are amazing. Yep. Let's see what else we've got. Does Delisos Labs from France still exist? I have not seen Delisos in a long time. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Actually, I'm going to France this fall, and but I don't know. You could look online. No, as I recall, Delisos was absorbed into another homeopathic manufacturing pharmacy. Brain fog from having babies. You bet. Thank you. Brain fog from nursing. Could be the same thing. We could still consider hellebores. You bet. I love all the hearts. Thank you. And in Australia. Well, it doesn't matter where the pharmacy is, my friends. I mean, I know that there are pharmacies in Australia, and I can't remember the one in Australia, but I buy from England. And the British buy from the American companies. They're pretty fast. And the Canadians buy from the Americans, and Americans buy from the Canadians. So I don't know that I'd worry too much about where it's coming from, what country it's coming from. But there is one in Australia, and I'll bet somebody's going to come up with it now. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Who knows the name of the manufacturing pharmacy in Australia? Let's just see here. Could it help thyroid brain fog? Certainly, it could. If there's stupefaction, mental dullness, and slow, it can. It doesn't mean we stop there. We might want to go after that condition as well, of course. Homeopathy Plus from Australia. I think that could be it, Rechna. Thank you. And Homeomart, someone else is saying. You bet. Dr. Reckeweg, also great. Yes, I like Dr. Reckeweg's products. Yes, homeopathic. You bet. I have not mentioned that name. Yeah, flying tomorrow. Need to know. I'll answer this question and then we'll get going. Flying tomorrow, need to know if radiation will affect my remedies. This is what I do when I get to the airport. I pull out my remedies, my kit, and any other remedies I might have, and I hand them to the attendant, and I say, "Can you please put these aside and not let them go through the X-rays?" And because they're medicines, and they always oblige me, no matter what country I've ever been in, no matter where I am, no matter what time of day, what airline I'm about to board, does not matter. They always oblige me. However, I have to say that some of my medicines have gone through that were in my purse and I forgot that they were there. I always keep aconitum in there and it sat in the purse and it went through the x-ray and it still acted. And I've seen that happen over and over and over. And in India, when I spent time in Calcutta, you would be required to put your purse through an x-ray every time you went into a mall. And that happened time and again, and the medicine still acted. So, although I think that we all worried about that when x rays became more ubiquitous, but I have to say, I've not seen that it's been a problem. And there you go, my friends. No brain fog here. You guys are on top of your game. Love to see you all. Thank you. Happy to see my new members and Joette's Mighty members. And see you next week. Love it. Bye, my friends. God bless you all.